Hello AI enthusiasts, welcome back to Skill Curve. So in this particular video, we're going to compare their free and second best model Claude 3 Sonnet with OpenAI's free and second best model, which is GPT 3.5. So we'll perform the testing on several different benchmarks to see whether Anthropic's free version is better or OpenAI's free GPT 3.5. So let's see how this comparison will proceed. So first of all, I'll try to test it out from advanced reasoning perspective. So I can give both of them a prompt. A farmer needs to transport a wolf, a goat, and a head of cabbage across a river. The farmer's boat can only hold themselves plus one other item. The wolf will eat goat if left alone, and the goat will eat the cabbage if left alone. How can the farmer get everything safely across the river? It's a classical riddle, so let's try to see who solves better. Alright, so in terms of speed, I believe GPT 3.5 was better, okay? If I talk about like this structure, so the structure seems exactly same. You can see 7 points here and the 7 points here as well. First of all, let's try to analyze what Claude 3 has produced. Claude 3 says, take the goat across the river first and leave it on the other side. Basically, it says you can leave wolf and cabbage together. That is fine. But on the other hand, GPT-4 says, take the wolf across the river and leave it on the other side. Wow, GPT 3.5 has made a blunder here, because if I take the wolf across the river and leave it on the other side, I told it that I cannot leave goat along with cabbage. I don't know why it said this. I'm shocked to hear this response back from GPT 3.5, that it says return to the original side, and here as well go back to the original side. And in this case, I would be left with goat only, because cabbage would have been eaten by goat anyways. Now it says take the wolf across the river and bring the goat back to the original side. And it says take the cabbage across the river, leaving the goat alone there. I believe there wouldn't be any cabbage left, as it would have been eaten by goat anyways. The next point, it says leave the wolf on the other side and leave the goat on the original side. Okay, seems logical. And it says leave the cabbage on the other side but take the wolf back with you to the original side. We would have left the cabbage there with wolf. Wolf won't eat cabbage anyways. Now it says that take the cabbage across the river and leave it with the wolf. That's logical. Return to the original side. Finally, take the goat across the river. So this answer seems like great with respect to this one, because it made a blunder in the first step. You can see taking the wolf across the river, leaving it on the other side. It will allow goat to eat cabbage anyways. So I believe this one is a fail, and this one is definitely a pass. So Claude 3 is outperforming GPT 3.5 in advanced reasoning. Let me just try to test further for advanced reasoning. So I am giving an argument like premise 1, all birds have feathers. Premise 2, penguins are birds. Conclusion, therefore penguins have feathers. I'm asking, is the argument logically sound, valid, and the premise is true? Explain your reasoning with respect to deductive logic. Let's try to see both of them. So you can see here that both of them perform like in a similar fashion. Okay, so it says to determine whether the argument is logically sound, we need to assess two aspects. Same here says, let's break down the reasoning. Validity, the argument has following structure. Premise is 1, all A are B. Okay. Premise 2, C is A, therefore C is B. This was something I was looking in GPT 3.5 as well, because it deduced a formula you can see here. It says this argument structure is valid according to deductive logic. Okay. If the premises are true, then the conclusion must also be true. Okay. Because it's following the formula, like deductive logic formula. This is because all members of the set A have the property B and C is member of the set A. Then C must also have the property of B. You can see how well this thing is structured. This is valid deductive argument form known as syllogism, whereas it didn't mention anything here. It's just giving me general premises breakdown and deducing the conclusion. So it's also discussing the truth of premises. Now it's actually doing this thing. Okay, all birds have feathers. This is not entirely true. While most of the birds have feathers, there are exceptions. Okay, this is well structured. You can see penguins are birds. This premise is true. Penguins are a group of flightless seabirds that are classified under the biological class Aves, which includes all birds. And since premises 1 is false, not all birds have feathers, even though premise 2 is true. The argument is valid. The argument is not logically sound. It says the argument is logically sound. So in deductive logic, an argument is considered sound if and only if the argument is valid. The conclusion follows the logically from the premises, and all premises are true. So in my opinion, Claude 3 outperformed GPT 3.5 in this particular scenario as well. So in my opinion, Claude 3 is winning here. So next I wanted to test out the vision analysis, but I know that Claude 3 will be a winner in this particular scenario because the free version like the Sonnet model have vision capabilities, but GPT 3.5 doesn't have. So I could just simply provide it with this image, okay? I can say analyze the painting and can you tell which era it represents? Let's see. But I cannot provide an image to GPT 3.5. So in terms of vision analysis, this Claude 3 is definitely a winner. It says based on ornate clothing, elaborate jewelry, and styled depiction of the female figure, this painting appears to represent the Art Nouveau era or artistic style that emerged in late 19th century and early 20th century. So definitely it's outperforming GPT 3.5 because GPT 3.5 lacks vision analysis. So alright, for the code generation, I can give a prompt like write a Python function to take a list of numbers as input and return a new list containing only the even numbers sorted in an ascending order. Let's submit and see who performs better. Let's try to analyze both codes looking good. Okay, first of all, both of them define a function. Here you can see as well. Then even numbers, they both are doing same job. Okay, then they are sorting the numbers, both of them you can see, and then returning the sorted even numbers. Then GPT 3.5 provided the example usage code in the same coding block, whereas this one provided me here. Okay, you can see. Alright, so first of all, I'll try to check the code of Claude 3. Yeah, this was the example usage code, and let's try to run it. Well, the output is as expected. So yeah, that's definitely a pass. And I don't want to check this code because these both codes are pretty much similar. So they both have performed like really great in this particular scenario. But you can see here how well it has defined it, okay? So it says here's how the function works, okay? It also tells you about like how it's working. But in the case of GPT 3.5, it just gives you a brief explanation and it doesn't explain step by step. So if I talk about like coding, both of them are equally good. But in terms of structure, this response from Claude seems really great. Alright, so for the next coding task, I'm saying write a snake game in Python using Pygame. It should display score and also tells users that the game is over. GPT-4 is really great in this snake game. I tested it out. So for the comparison purpose, I'm using 3.5 with Claude 3. So let's see who wins in this particular battle. Alright, so both of them have finished. Okay, the code seems really good. I will simply open up my VS Code, okay? First of all, I'll try to check the code of Claude, okay? The code seems really well structured with no errors and you can see with no warnings as well. All imports are there, so seems really great. Let me just try to run and see whether it will work or not. Well, yeah, it's working. You can see the score is incrementing with the value of 10. The snake's length also been increased and it also prompts game over. So this one seems really great and is actually well structured. Now let's try to test out the code from GPT 3.5. So after pasting in the code, there are no errors, nothing wrong. Everything seems great. It imported time, but it's not used. So that's not an issue. Now let's try to run it and see how this will perform. Well, yeah, the score is incrementing. It's good. The snake's length increasing as well. Yeah, it's looking nice. Yeah, you lost. Press C, play again, or Q quit. Yeah, both of them have done pretty decent job. And they both have them passed the snake challenge. Okay, so that's really good. So this one also break down like the working of code as well. And it also tells you to run the game, make sure Pygame installed, save the code in a file, like instructions as well. whereas it just provides the code. And first of all, it says like you have to install Pygame, but it doesn't tell me how you can run this file or like how the code works and everything like that. So if I talk about like the response, the general overview of the response, Claude 3 is winning here, but for the sake of task being done, both of them have performed really well. Okay. So all right, now let's try to see them from multilingual processing. I can say translate the following paragraph into Spanish and then to German. The museum houses a fascinating collection of artifacts from ancient civilizations. Visitors can explore exhibits on diverse cultures and historical periods, providing a unique window into the past. I know both of them will perform well in this particular scenario because both of them are really powerful models. So let's see. Yeah, no surprises here. You can see both of them. Like the Spanish version, it seems like pretty much similar, and the German as well. You can read more here, okay? Both of them are performing like really great. So that's a good sign. So all right, next let's try to see them from advanced mathematics perspective to check the order of operations. So I could say, solve the following equations strictly adhering to the BDMAS or PEDMAS order of operation. 8 plus 2 multiplied by 12 minus 5. I think that's the power 2 divided by 3. Let's see. Well, here I can see that GPT 3.5 wins. Okay. First of all, it's solving this bracket. 12 minus 5, it's 7, and the power is 2. 12 minus 5 power 2, it's 7 square equals 49. Same here, you can see. 49, then I don't know why it's taking 49 square, which is 49 into 49 equals 240. It wasn't a square, but it was multiplication, like 2 multiplied by 49. That was scenario which it misunderstood and made a blunder here. Then all of this definitely is wrong from step 3. Now you can see that it said 98, then it is dividing 98 by 3. It is 32.667 plus 8, it's 40.6667. So GPT 3.5 is winner. One thing to consider here is that in Claude 3, you have got a serious cap issue. It says like one message remaining until 6 p.m. Then I have to wait and then we can use it. Okay. So if I subscribe to Pro, this issue will definitely get resolved. So I think for now, that's the drawback of Claude 3. All right. So I believe Claude 3 is a great model and has great potential. If overall, I can clearly say that Claude 3 is winner in this particular scenario. It is a great model with great potential. And I'm really hopeful that the next versions of Claude will outperform GPT in every different scenario. So that marks the end of this video. I hope you liked this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch you up in some other one. Till then, have a good day. Bye.